Icebergs and glaciers are both large masses of ice, but there are some important differences between them. Glaciers are large masses of ice that form on land, typically in areas where snow accumulates faster than it melts. Over time, the weight of the snow compresses it into ice, which begins to flow downhill under the force of gravity. Glaciers can be found in places like Antarctica, Greenland, and high mountain ranges. Icebergs, on the other hand, are large chunks of ice that have broken off from glaciers or ice shelves and are floating in the ocean. They can be very large and can pose a danger to ships in the area. The visible part of an iceberg is only a small fraction of its total size, with the majority of the ice below the surface of the water. Both glaciers and icebergs are important features of the Earth's climate system, as they play a role in regulating the planet's temperature and sea level. However, they are also both at risk due to climate change, as rising temperatures can cause them to melt and shrink in size. The largest icebergs ever recorded are called tabular icebergs, which are massive and flat-topped with steep sides. The biggest tabular iceberg ever observed was named B-15, which broke off from the Ross Ice Shelf in Antarctica in March 2000. It was about 295 kilometers, 183 miles, long and 37 kilometers, 23 miles, wide, with a surface area of around 11,000 square kilometers, 4,200 square miles. This is larger than the whole island of Jamaica. Another notable iceberg is A68, which broke off from the Larsen C ice shelf in Antarctica in 2017. It was about 5,800 square kilometers, 2,200 square miles, in size, roughly the size of the state of Delaware. It's worth noting that large icebergs like these are relatively rare, as they require specific conditions to form and break off from ice shelves or glaciers. Most icebergs are much smaller, with an average size of around 1 kilometer, 0.6 miles, in length. Global ice melt refers to the overall loss of ice from glaciers, ice caps, ice sheets, and ice shelves around the world due to rising temperatures caused by climate change. The loss of ice from these sources contributes to rising sea levels, which can have a range of impacts on coastal communities and ecosystems. There is strong evidence that global ice melt is accelerating. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, global sea levels rose by an average of 15 centimeters, 6 inches, from 1901 to 2018, with about one-third of that rise occurring in the last 25 years. The IPCC predicts that sea levels could rise by up to 1 meter, 3.3 feet, by the end of the century if greenhouse gas emissions are not reduced. One of the most concerning examples of global ice melt is happening in Antarctica. In recent years, multiple studies have shown that the Antarctic ice sheet is losing ice at an accelerating rate. This is due in part to the warming of ocean waters around the continent, which is causing the ice shelves that surround the ice sheet to thin and break apart, allowing more ice to flow into the ocean. Global ice melt has significant implications for the planet, including increased risk of flooding, loss of biodiversity, and displacement of coastal communities. It also underscores the urgent need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and take other actions to address climate change.